Hi, welcome to White Hat versus Black Hat SEO show. My name is Josh Bachynski. With me, as always, I have my valiant co-host, Chase Reiner, on guitar. Chase, play us in. To White Hat versus Black Hat SEO show. My name is Josh Bachynski.
We gotta turn that off.
As always, I have my valiant co-host. The same mistake every time. Well, unfortunately, Chase was going to play us a nice song, but my stupid voice got in the way, so I guess no song anymore. Say hi, Chase.
Hello.
Chase wants to remind you to follow us on the Facebook group.
Oh, yeah. If you guys text the word SEO to the number 66866, you'll get a link to the Facebook group.
Again, that is text 866.
Oh, no, now I don't know. SEO to 66866.
66866. Yeah, okay.
5309.
Maybe something like that. Or just email us or text us, whatever. So thanks, Chase. And Chase, you have a special guest there. Why don't you introduce him?
So with us today, we have Mark Monroe from SEO Radar, which is he runs this amazing SEO app and GUI. And what it does, well, Mark, you could probably explain it better than I can.
Sure.
Let's get into what it does in a second. And then I just want to introduce also, we have two awesome SEO tools today. We also have Tyler Wilson from SEMRush here today. Say hi, Tyler.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Tyler, SEMRush.
So,
hi, everyone. I didn't get my hello in, so.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so today we have two great tools with us. For only my viewers, they get not only SEMRush, which is, we have kind of the battle of the tools today. We have the legacy tool, SEMRush, which everyone knows SEMRush. Everyone in the SEO community has heard of it. Or if you haven't heard of it, well, then you haven't been doing this for very, very long. So there's SEMRush, right? That's been going for They're such a big company that Tyler just told us they have a campus. They don't have not just one office building, they have two. Behind Tyler in the window there is another building where there's more SEMRush people working.
More people.
If he wants to talk to his colleague, he has to literally go outside, walk across the campus, and go talk to somebody else. So that's pretty gangster right there.
Yeah.
And also we have with us SEO Radar, which is a great tool that Chase found out about that Mark is going to be talking about in a couple seconds. So we're going to kind of have the battle of the tools today, and we're going to kind of discuss the merits of each tool. I'm sure they got great stuff about each of them. So before I do that, just a couple other administratia to get to. Some news. There's a really exciting thing to announce, actually. If you like White Hat versus Black Hat, but you've always wanted to meet me in person, and also meet Black Hats who are so Black Hat that they literally can't enter the country of the United States, I'm not joking, you can come to my conference. I'm running a conference with Holly in August, probably the 14th to 16th, around there. So keep watching my Twitter stream, keep watching the show for updates on that. It's going to be an exclusive conference with the top White Hats and the top Black Hats debating on stage the merits of White Hat and the merits of Black Hat and all their top secrets and all their top tricks. Only for the invited, only for the guests who come to view the show. The show will not be televised or recorded in any way, shape, or form. So this will only be for people who come up to either Victoria, Vancouver, somewhere around there is where we're thinking of having it. So
hey,
we're still,
sorry. I was going to say have announcements after that.
Okay. So we're still in early days planning the conference, but keep that in mind. In August, it's going to be just an unbelievable conference. And these are Black Hats that you've never even heard of, that are so Black Hat that literally, some of them, they're such hackers, some of them can't enter the United States, which is why we're having it in Canada. So Chase, go ahead.
So the other announcement is that I also just released, I was talking about this in some of the other previous Hangouts, I was thinking about doing like a how to get SEO clients course. I'm already on video number 7. I go through like all my processes through creating the ClickFunnels, through creating the AdWords, all that stuff, and how I actually have achieved over 20 clients currently that are paying me anywhere from $1,500 plus retainers. So if you guys are interested in learning how to get SEO clients, just go to my website, and then there's a tab that says SEO course. You can click on it.
I love how he just slips in there the mad cash he's making doing SEO. The money they pay me, I'm so great. Anyway, moving right on. No, that's because Chase is great. Chase is wonderful. Okay, and then so the last bit of administratia, if you have any questions for the panel or questions for us, please type them in the chat. If you're watching this on YouTube, you should see this on the chat on the top right-hand side. And if you don't mind putting 3 asterisks before and after every question that you want us to answer, that way I would be able to see it easily and answer it for you on the show. Okay, so without further ado, I'd like to turn things over to Tyler Wilson. Tyler's going to be talking to us about of course, the premier SEO tool, SEMrush, that everybody knows about. But Tyler's got a bit of a presentation for us and show us some of the cool things in SEMrush. So Tyler, take it away.
Awesome. So let me just, can everyone see my screen? So
in a second, we probably can.
Yeah, I'm just going to all right, so there's SEMrush. Hello, everyone. My name's Tyler Wilson. I've been with SEMrush for about 2.5 years now. Before that, I was doing SEO for a couple agencies, mostly doing link building. And today I'm going to talk to you about 2 tools, one new, one not as new. The first one being the SEO content, or I'm sorry, the keyword magic tool, showing you some methods on doing keyword research. And then we have the SEO content template tool. So taking those keywords and applying that to building a page. So first of all, to find these two tools,
sorry, Tyler, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I don't think we can't see your screen if that's what we're supposed to be looking at.
Oh yeah, can you see? Or I guess like
the share button is on the top left side. It's a green button.
Okay, share screen. There we go.
There we go.
So first thing you need to do is get access to SEMrush, and I can certainly help you with that. Feel free to tweet me or send me an email, tyler.wilson@semrush.com. So on the left-hand side here, you go to Keyword Analytics, click the drop-down, and then just select Keyword Magic Tool. So here we have a search bar where you can type in, I don't know, like iPhone. So iPhone, let's do 6, something very short tail, very general. And you select your database. Nice thing about SEMrush is we have data worldwide. So if you want Canada, you can do Canada right there. If you want US, you can do US. And what this is going to do is give you a list of all the keyword combinations we have on that keyword. So there are 14,118 keywords that have iPhone 6 searched in Canada. And we have that list here. We have search volume. So this is a average search volume over 30 days. And then we have keyword difficulty. That is a difficulty metric to rank somewhere within the first 2 pages of organic search. So the higher the percentage, the more difficult it is to rank for that keyword. It's on a scale of 0 to 100. And we calculate that based on SEMrush rank. So SEMrush rank is the list of the top websites that receive traffic via Google search engine. So SEMrush analyzes the top 10 websites ranking for that keyword and analyzes their SEMrush rank, and then figures an average to bring you the percentage that you're seeing there. Typically, anything below 70% is pretty manageable. Anything above 70, that's when you start to get these heavy hitting domains, whether it be high or SEMrush rank or just domains that have been around for a long time. We have CPC in USD, that's the average bid price. We have competitive density, another competition metric. This one's specific to AdWords. It's on a scale of 0 to 1, 1 being the most difficult to rank within the first 5 listings of AdWords. We can even tell you what SERP features are triggered of this keyword, and even a snapshot of the SERP that we gathered for that keyword. It's cached in SEMrush right there. So, and this is google.ca right there. And you can see what else is going on in here. So anyway, we did a search of iPhone 6. Say we want to remove like S and plus. So you do a comma for any iteration that you want to remove, and you can do verse, and maybe remove price. And then at the same time, you can sort by keyword difficulty. So anything below up to 70%. And you can do by search volume. So maybe you want, I don't know if you want to limit search volume, but you can even look at word count. So right now we have 2 words within this keyword phrase. Say you're looking for some longer tail keywords. You don't know what that could be. So you could limit to 4.
Oh yeah, interesting.
And then so now you're going to get longer keywords in here. And so maybe you might want to, and then I see like a lot of 7 in there. And you can get rid of like 7S and 6S.
Wow.
And then just search. Sometimes that happens. And then do.
Oh, you made it too specific.
Whenever you do S, I find that whenever you do S, it does that. So if I do, and then, yeah, there's like a small, okay, do verse and case. Oh yeah, see that little space thing right there? We go. So we started at 14,000. We're already down to 8,700. I know that if I start doing by search volume, then it's really going to decrease. So if I do it by like, I cap it at like 700, I mean, it's going to just keep dropping from there. And then you can organize based on these arrows. So maybe you want to look at these phrases that no one's searching or not enough people are searching. So you get an understanding of like, what can I go after, but also like, what are people searching? Like, is there something I could write about in here? You see like codes in here. You see activator, iPhone 6S, people overseas trying to activate iPhones themselves, not going to the, so something. I mean, you could, if you know enough about that, why not write about that? So you have all these keywords. This is great. Maybe you'll just narrow it down even more. And then you can add tabs here, do other keywords. Like maybe you want to do Android cases in Canada. By the way, this is search results for Canada, not United States. I know a lot of tools like to focus only on the United States. And, these tabs will always be there. And then so say,
yeah, just to be clear, Tyler specified Canada. It doesn't only apply to Canada. It applies to, I don't know how many, 200 countries you have.
Yeah, and we can.
Although Canada is great. If you only want to focus on Canada, that'd be fantastic. But
yeah, I mean, if you want to do Russia,
you want to focus on other places, you can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what you can do is you can certainly export this, or you could send it to. We have this thing called the keyword analyzer. So what it does is it sends it to a list. So say like you want to have your Android and your iPhone keywords in one place, you can create a list. So now we're in a list, and I have all these other ones. I didn't name them, but I have some older ones here. Like, let's see, I have one about classic cars. So like, I have some classic cars here, some Japanese import classic type keywords, and then I go to the keyword analyzer. And then so I have them all right here. So you see my classic cars and my Japanese. So the root keyword right there in that column, then the actual keyword, all of the metrics as well. And we give you even more options. So do you want to download it into an Excel file? Sure. Or do you want to keep it in SEMRush, send it to Position Tracker or PPC Keyword Tool? You can do that too. So no need to download and re-uploading. And then, so say we're really interested in classic American cars and trucks for sale. Say like we want to build a page for that because that's the business that you were hired to help promote, or you're in that business yourself. You jump to the SEO content template tool and you drop that keyword in there. You can do other keywords like drop top classic cars for sale. That's a cool word. And maybe, I don't know, classic British sports cars for sale USA. So you select your SERP source. So again, anywhere you'd like, but there's something else that you can do with this. You can select your region. So maybe I want to sell this in Colorado and I want the SERP source to be Denver. you
Wow.
can do that.
That's great.
Select by device, and then what SEMrush is going to do, it's going to do a keyword search, each of these, as if the SERP source was Denver, and we're going to analyze the top 10 listings for that for each of those keywords. We're going to look at how are they using these keywords. First of all, who are ranking for those keywords, and then how are they using it? And then we're going to give you parameters as to how your page that you're currently building should be structured. So like, what semantic keywords should you use? What backlinks should you try and go after? How should your metadata be structured, whether it be description, H1, and so forth. And you're about to see that once the spinning wheel of death gets done rotating, which would be like one more second, and then you just took out all of the guesswork from writing that page. So here we go. First, you see here are the top 10 listings in Denver, Colorado on Google for these keywords. And then, so you see no one is consistently number one for each of these keywords. And then, so here are our semantic keywords. So you want to be relevant for, which one is this for? So the first one is classic American cars and trucks for sale. You'll need to add Chevrolet, Ford, convertible cars, or I'm sorry, we got to do drop top. Sports, miles. So you see you have sports and then sports car, Chevrolet, Ford, one word, and then Chevy, Ford, 2 words. And then here are the backlinks, classiccars.com. Readability, pretty ambiguous if you ask me. If you're not aware of any tools that can give you an understanding of readability, Hemingway Editor is a nice free tool for you to not only understand your readability, but also edit it to get it to what the readability should be. And also recommended text length, at least 1,264 words. Here we have how the keywords are used. So you see, number 1, you don't see drop top or classic or for sale. All you see is cars and for, and they don't even have a meta description set up. So that's opportunity in and of itself right there.
Right.
For number 1. And you can go down and scroll and look at everyone else, cycle through. So classic American cars and trucks looks a little bit better. And then down here we have the basic recommendations. I mean, it always says just use it once, don't use it twice. 160 characters, 55 characters. And it looks simple, but it's simple because it's an algorithm gathering this, taking all this information and putting this into a page that makes sense, that answers the user's question based on these keywords. That's the tricky part. So
that's the art.
That is the art, absolutely.
Yeah. So the semantically related keywords there, Tyler. So this is what Google is saying are the synonyms that you should be using as well that these other sites are using?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest takeaway from this tool is taking these words that make the page so relevant to the targeted keyword and applying it to yours. And then really all it takes is, besides adding this, is just getting high quality backlinks and offering a better service. And you've taken out the guesswork thanks to this tool within SEMRush.
That's really cool.
And there's a lot of others. I could talk for an entire day about all the things in SEMRush. This is probably the newer of the tools offered. So even if you are an SEMRush subscriber, chances are you may not have heard of this. So
okay. Can we see another example then? If this is what you want to focus on, unless you want to move on to another component entirely, can we see a different example, maybe in the iPhones you were looking at there?
Yeah, so what we can do, all right, let me go back. Keyword magic tool. I had one for iPhones down here. Oh, you know what?
Well, even phones for sale, any of the other ones, just so we can get a sense of how this works.
Yeah, so let's see. Pretty clear case iPhone. So something a little longer tail. And then we'll go back, start a new one. And we can set this for, I don't know, we'll just keep it there, keep it rolling.
Keep it in Denver.
Yeah.
I like Denver sandwiches, so, it's all good.
I just like Denver. It's just everyone's so nice there.
I couldn't say anything. I've never been to Denver, so all I could talk about was Denver sandwiches.
They're all in good moods there. I wonder why.
I wonder if people in Denver really hate their city always being equated to Denver sandwiches. I don't know.
Well,
I'm in Canada, and we take a lot of jokes from you guys in the States. So there you go. Take it back.
My experience is everyone that I've met in Denver is not actually from Denver. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. But here we go. So I did iPhone. So you have Etsy dominating #1, Amazon, Pinterest. So this is a more of a localized, or not a localized. It's the SERP is set for local, but you have some heavy set players dominating the first page.
eBay, Walmart,
Yeah, some unknown names, and then what's interesting, a lot of them don't have a similar backlink that is offered. So storyleather.com, never even heard of them.
That's fascinating that you can analyze the backlink profile and see where the common links are for this particular semantic and recommend they get links in that area. Walmart, eBay, of course, they have links from. Your algorithm would explode if it tried to think too hard about the commonalities or differences there. Even
just with Amazon, like we can't crawl Amazon because they have over 1 billion links, which
Right.
SEMRush could tell you. But yeah, you down here, these pages are well structured. You see iPhone 7 case, even different types of cases, 6S, 7 Plus, 6S, S6. I mean, you have multiple instances. So someone really put an effort into building this page for clear iPhone cases. I wonder if that many keywords would almost be over optimization. I wonder what their keyword density profile, because I don't know, Tyler, if you've been watching the show recently, but we've been doing experiments to show that there is an over optimization penalty for keywords. And if you go like around 4% over everyone else's keyword density, or Kyle was also on from Search Engine Intelligence Agency, and he showed that it's actually 2 deviations over mean. So if you had 0.1% keyword density, you wouldn't want to be over 0.3 or 0.4 percent keyword density. That's when we see drastic drops off. I wonder if websites like Etsy or eBay can get away with stuff like that. Well, I just did a search of that page that we're talking about right there, and I think you might be onto something, because SEMrush is only showing 4 keywords. And oh wait, this is Canada. Let me do US. Sorry, I was stuck in the Canadian database. Those Canadians. They're always apologizing. Sorry. So 270, and then let's look at includes to iPhone. So only iPhone type keywords. Let's see how many they actually, that we know of. We don't track every single keyword. We try to, but let's see, 270. So, and then you see a lot of 5, 7. A lot of them are 1 too, which is interesting. Let's do, because this is by traffic. They're not getting much traffic from any of these keywords, but then again, they're low search volume. Yeah, you got me thinking about this. Yeah, I think on a site like Etsy that it's going to, even with the over optimization penalty, it's still going to rank much better. But if those persons maybe tone down those keywords to be in threshold with everything else, they might pop up to #1 for way more spots. They probably would, because right now they're only, out of the 270, we're seeing what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 they show 1 for.
Right.
I mean, this is national average. This is based on national SERPs, but yeah, I mean, you could definitely. I mean, you got the competition levels are pretty high, so yeah. I mean, I think you're definitely on to something.
We don't know exactly how Google would calculate an over-optimization penalty, but they might be smart enough to try and determine organic optimization, or in other words, keyword that happens organic naturally versus someone sitting down and over-optimizing at one time after the fact.
Right, like jamming all the keywords into a single paragraph or sentence, much like that
at one time, right? As opposed to after the content's already been created and existing for a while. That's kind of a signal that there's someone sitting down and optimizing this.
Right.
Well, that's how you used to have to rank your content before Panda came in. Is you had to just go in and put as many keywords as you could with white on white text for the web pages, so nobody could see it, and rank your pages. And then that's why they put in Panda, so that you wouldn't keep over optimizing your pages. Well, and for other issues like around duplicate content and whatnot.
Actually, in case anyone, maybe a subject for another call would be, I happen to have good contact with someone after Panda who actually did, inside of Google, who did a code review of the Panda code.
Wow.
So, that's another story, but maybe if you want to come on and talk about that next time.
Okie dokie. So Tyler, did you have anything else you want to talk about there, or was that what you want to cover today? That was about half an hour. That was good.
There's one thing, and let me go back into SEMRush. And so we have a lot of tools, and like the purpose that we may release a tool for is never always the case. I'll give you an example. So in the project section, there's this tool called brand monitoring. So when SEMrush built this tool, the point of it was to monitor your brand term on other websites, like mentions on other websites. Some people would use it for backlinking. So if I don't know, if SEMrush is mentioned on another page and they're not backlinking, which I don't know why wouldn't they be, this tool would pick it up.
Okay.
So like here it is. I do have one on SEMrush, so it will look for most recent mentions. Here it is, and then you can view the page. It'll bring up the page. It's written somewhere. This is a blog post about SEMrush. This was published probably like an hour ago, so sometime today.
Wow, that's up to date.
Yeah. So SEMrush, yeah, it's somewhere on that page. But another way you can use this, and this is so I helped a client with this. Is this client works for a major food distributor, and they sell food that is sent to your house on a daily basis, all the ingredients, and she needs to be constantly coming up with new pieces of content, and also knowing who her influencers are within the food space. So she was really interested in coconut oil. So I was like, well, instead of looking up keyword searches and looking at who ranks top, like, why don't we find out the newest blog posts before they get indexed? So here's one that was released 2 hours ago.
Right, yeah.
Right, curlyt.com.
Yeah. And
so it has there's the targeted keyword highlighted right there. We just changed it. So like we used to display it as a frame link, but now it just takes you to the actual website. But let's see. Yeah.
I noticed you had a score there. What was that score on the right-hand side?
Oh, the score. Yeah, this is new too. I'm not even aware of this. BM score. Yeah, the authority of the domain using a 100-point scale. Actually, that's pretty new.
Oh, I see. So it's kind of like domain authority, if that's not a sin dimension.
And then down here you have like some better ones. So
you want to contact those websites with which the highest authority, or all of them preferably, and try and get a link. They're mentioning your keyword, your brand. See if you can get a link from these guys.
Yeah, or that's a golden
tool. That's fantastic.
Yeah, not many people really use this. Everyone's really surprised when I tell them about this. It's mostly because it's in the project section, And that's probably like one of the most overlooked sections within SEMrush. Most people just go to the search bar right here and just start making searches. They don't go to, projects is down in the middle now because you have to create one based on a domain. And yeah, there's just some of my projects right here. And just to give you an idea of like how much we've grown since I've started, when I started, there was only site audit and position tracker. Now there are 9. We just came out with a new one. It's called the Ads Builder. You can build your AdWords ads here in SEMrush. So you do your keyword research, you figure out what your competitors are doing, you build your campaigns and your ad groups, figure out your cross negatives, your duplicates, and then you can actually build your ad on top of that. We'll give you suggestions on properly built ads. So we take into consideration like the Google rules, like, hey, you got a misspelling or you can't use this type of character. I mean, we're gonna flag you, say, hey, out just yet, it's gonna get rejected, and then you can export it into a format that AdWords will accept. That came out last week, actually.
Wow. Well, only here first. You only here, folks. You see it here first.
Yeah. New stuff every day. So if you decide that SEMrush is something that you could benefit from, know that the value of your subscription will increase because we're just not only adding new tools, but getting better at the ones that made us known for.
I mean, they have an entire campus. I mean, come on.
We got to be doing something here. It's
right. I've visited the Moz office, and they're in one single floor of one building. Boo earns to Moz. We got
a couple offices worldwide too. So not just in America, but in Europe. I mean, there's 4 locations total. So 3 over in Europe. I mean, we're everywhere.
Wow. Okay, Tyler, I've got a couple questions for you from the viewers. Do you mind if I fire a couple questions at you?
Sure, I love questions.
All right, so Google Guy asks, how does SEMrush, this is not a simple question actually, he asks, how does SEMrush compare to Ahrefs?
Ahrefs?
Yeah.
I get this question all the time. Ahrefs, they're fantastic at link building. They're one of they're probably the first tool. They have a very robust database of backlinks. They've been crawling the longest. That's why they have the most backlinks. I used it myself when I did link building. There's no doubt about that. They started doing keyword research not too long ago. So as far as robustness of the keywords that they have to offer and we have to offer, I mean, it changes every day. They used to have more, now we have more. So we're very competitive as far as number of keywords and also number of countries and devices in which you can see keyword data. So earlier this week, we came out with mobile Germany, France, Brazil, basically all the Western countries, mobile keywords. Not sure with Ahrefs. What you do get with SEMrush that I believe you don't get with Ahrefs. Again, things are changing all the time. Site audit, I know they have some sort of position tracker tool. Their user interface is pretty good too, pretty consistent. So no qualms about that. It's really just, think of Ahrefs more link-based, SEMrush more keyword-based, but okay. Each of us do the same thing. So you get kind of the same thing with each. It's just expertise for either, because we have lots of backlinks too. I can talk about that.
When I think about it, I think SEMrush is where I check to see where something's ranking. If I want to see where something's ranking, I just put in SEMrush and I get all the ranking reports there and stuff. And then you'll tell me all the backlinks and whatnot. And then Ahrefs, they might tell me some of the social stuff, but you guys pretty much have the same stuff, but you're my go-to for just to check to see how something's ranking across the board for different keywords.
And that's another good point. We have a social tool too that's in the project section. So like I said, we do very similar things as far as expertise between the two. Ahrefs, links, SEMRush, keywords. And if you want to get a more in-depth comparison, feel free to drop an email. I have a deck that compares the two.
Fantastic. Okay. My juvenile brain, I'm just going to move right past it. All right. So thank you very much, Tyler Wilson. Now let's move on to SEO Radar with Mark Monroe. Mark and Chase, come in. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Chase is eating. Chase, he always has to, he's always fueling up. He's always fueling that body.
It's because I'm never ending working, so I have to eat at some point.
Right. Okay, so thanks for waiting, guys. Mark, do you want to tell us about SEO Radar?
Sure. So what SEO Radar does is we crawl a website, we take a snapshot, we archive that snapshot, we compare it to what we've seen before, and we generate an alert. So we're a monitoring system, or at least our core value prop, where we started out is as a monitoring system that monitors the websites for potential changes that can have an impact. So think about it when you update your site, how many pages you have, how many things that are important of those pages. We tell you what's changed, which really minimizes the amount of time it takes to know that your site is in good shape, as well as catch those really annoying things like no index tags showing up on pages you don't want no index tags, or robots.text changes. So we'll kind of that's the initial core value proposition. We also save that data over time, which gives you the ability to analyze traffic impacts by going back and seeing what happened last week, last month, 2 months ago. We archive that over time, and then we also give you the ability to tie that data to your Search Console data to help analyze the impact of changes. So it's great for analyzing your own site. It's also fantastic for monitoring your competitors, because you'll get a clear view into your competitors' SEO strategy by seeing when they change their titles and they change their H1s, and seeing what it does to their rankings as well. So let's get right into it. Should I open it in this?
Yeah, so just click on the green left, right there.
This one.
Yeah.
How many SEO experts does it take to share a screen?
And then just choose screen one, and now you have the right screen.
Okay.
Yeah. Somebody really doesn't like me in the comments. I don't know why. I don't know what I did to them.
Which one are we sharing?
Over here.
Oh, we're sharing this one.
Yeah.
Okay. And, yeah,
or they really like donkeys, one or the other. I'm not really sure.
Okay, so you should see what I'm going to show you first is my dashboard. So if what we see here, this is one of my accounts. So I'm monitoring a whole bunch of sites, and we see the status of the most recent crawl, how many alerts came in. If you're an individual, in-house SEO, you might just have one or a couple of domains. If you're an agency or a consultant, you might have many domains that you're monitoring. We break out competitors separately. We have a separate redirect tester, which we'll get into later, and then we have like an open-ended query capability that lets you query across domain by alert type. We'll start off by drilling into Discover, which I saw some interesting alerts show up on them. So what we see here is the dashboard, the domain overview. Below is the crawl history over time. And if we click on this here, we'll go and take a look at the most recent crawl. And actually, Discover has two profiles. I'm going to switch to the other one because that had the first alert I wanted to show you. Or maybe it didn't. Yes, it did. So we see
charts.
Yes, so we see that we, and I'll go through all the type of things we test in a minute, but what we see here, there was a rel canonical tag showed up on URLs that did not have them previously. So the thing to keep in mind with our alerts, where we're different from something like Deep Crawl, is we generate alerts based on a change in state, because we don't want to be noisy. We want to tell you something new happened to your site. So, so here on this page, we see a no index showed up. Now, did they want a no index to show up? I don't know. They're not a customer. This is my account, but sometimes I send people emails when I see these things happen to make sure.
Well, if you're an SEO, that's a great way to get a tie-in and say, hey guys, you know you're no index this page and it won't rank in Google anymore. You know, do you want me to fix this for you? You know, that's one of the SEO 101 how to get clients.
That's a great. I mean, it's a great use case actually for agencies or consultants, which is to catch because you can catch the problems just when they occur.
Right.
In fact, I had a meeting with a prospect last Tuesday, and she hadn't confirmed it yet. A major account, and on Monday she blocked her whole site on robots.txt.
Oops.
I sent her an email. I was polite, I don't think I'm assuming you didn't mean to do this. She goes, well, okay, I got to have the meeting now. So,
Right. Yeah.
Or if you have implementers that are doing this stuff for you, you can be like, hey, you spent 5 hours on this stuff, but there's only 3 things changed on this site. What's going on?
True.
We also if we can also pull up a source code compare. We have different versions. We could just look at a structured view with all the SEO elements. So we see what changed day over day. Takes a second to load. Takes 2 seconds. There we go. So here we see the no index tag showed up. Everything else is pretty much the same: titles, canonicals, links. So not much else changed on this page except the no index tag.
But it's nice that the source diff highlights it on the right hand side there in what looks like green or yellow.
Yep. So here we see what's changed. You can also do a full HTML diff if you want, or just look at content changes as well, and just step through them if you'd like. So go to the next diff. But there's there's other stuff that happened that day. So I'm actually just comparing 2 consecutive crawls, but you can actually run this diff versus last month, 2 months ago.
That's cascading style sheets. Someone added a bunch of CSS to the site there.
Right. So other things happen to this page. We also capture screenshots. So we can do a side-by-side and see what it looked like before and after. So not much change, but this really helps, especially in debugging. And again, keep in mind we save this over time. We see that some rel canonicals showed up. And here we have credit cards is rel canonical to credit card / travel. I mean, to me, this sounds like it might be a problem, but but I don't know for sure. But so the alerts, you can customize the priorities. So you have a setting screen where you can change the priorities for alerts. Actually, I'll show you that briefly.
And zoom tight.
I have really bad allergies right now.
So so here's where you would set the priorities. Alerts can be critical, high, medium, or low. And then you can also customize the behavior. But by default, critical will give you a text message if you want it. High will just will send you an email, no text. Medium will just show up in the UI, and low is completely hidden. We check rel canonicals. We check HTTP status, robots.txt, titles, pretty much anything that you could think of. Any change in redirect status generates an alert. So any change in the chain at all will generate an alert. If a 301 changes to a 302 or an embedded 301, so that's why there's so many alerts. There's a lot of special cases.
Right. Well, this is all the SEO stuff you need to watch out for.
What's that?
This is all the SEO stuff you need to watch out for.
Right. And so redirects, we checked hreflang, rel next for changes. We also check Google Analytics tag, Google Tag Manager. We just added in meta refresh. I didn't think anybody used it yet, but someone screwed themselves up. So what the heck, I added that alert in. We also monitor navigation links. So if crosslinks get deleted, we generate an alert. We have a concept of persistent links. So by default, we'll only generate alert for persistent links. Links we've seen the last 4 times we've crawled the site, so it doesn't get too noisy. Let's take a look at. So here's a site that went through a major migration. Let's pull up. Actually, let's pull up the history. So it happened over here. That's why we see this huge spike in alerts. What we're doing here is overlaying Google Analytics data on top of the change history, which is very useful. If something happens to one of your Google metrics, you can drill in and see what changed back on that day.
Oh, yeah, I see. Okay.
Right now, by default, it's showing organic traffic, but you could pull up other metrics and other segments and then drill in. So we know, actually, when they did this migration, they basically had a lot of downtime, which is it's not pretty. And so we'll see a ton of alerts here because so many things happened on that day. And we have this record of it. This happened back on April 28th. We see title tag changes, rel canonical tags removed. We lost Google Analytics tag on a couple of pages. Let's look at title tag changes. Here we see old title, new title, and looks like they actually fixed the title on this day. But if you click on a URL, I'll show you some other interesting stuff.
Well, that also means that you can track competitors, see what they're doing on their sites, on what they're changing, and then you can use that for your own. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, so here, if you click on a URL, you'll see the history of it over time. So you could look at the source code at any date. Here we see all these alerts came in on the day they did the migration. We also keep track of renders, the time it takes to render the page, and over time. So it's a combination of load time, of response time, resource load time, and render time, and that's the total page load time. And we have that archived for your pages over time. And for instance, on their site, this page is okay, but some of their pages had huge improvements in performance after the change. So now we'll talk about how we can tie this to Search Console data. So let's say the H1 changed on this day. Let's bring up the alert. So here's the alert. On this case, the H1 changed. We have this little Analyze Change button. And let's say if this just happened today, whatever today's date is.
Today's the 31st.
31st. This just happened today. We can schedule this. We'd have the detail of the changes. We can schedule it, and then you'll get an email of the analysis whenever the data is available. So we'll compare, by default, 2 weeks of data prior to the change, 2 weeks of data post-change, and the buffer means how long do we want to wait post-change before we start collecting data. We want to give Google time to cache the change. And then once you schedule it, you'll get an email with the results, but we also archive it as well, and change analysis reports. And I'll show you an example of one that got completed. And you'll get something emailed that looks like this. So you'll see how many keywords got more clicks, how many keywords got less clicks. We have the details of the changes. You can click on here to see the details that changed on that day. So for instance, H2 changes, H3 is removed, details of all the changes that happened on those days.
And you can tell how important the change was as well.
Right. And here we see you can export this data if you'd like. Here's the ranking before and after the change. Here's the click-through rate before and after. Here's the clicks before and after. And this is for all the keywords that came into this page. So you can then use this as a test tool, because we've got the change history, and then we've got the Search Console data, and we tie it together. And also looking to perhaps integrate with a tool like Rush as well to bring in another source of data, which especially will be useful for competitive data, because we don't have competitive data in Search Console, obviously.
And I think the coolest part about this tool is that you're not just getting the changes, but you're getting all this correlation data, which you can use as case studies, really.
Absolutely.
Which nobody else can really look at besides people who are able to look at this type of information.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. That's an interesting. That's really cool. That's an interesting kind of tool that will let you do a lot of different stuff. I like that.
The other thing we let you do is you can use this to test against your staging environment. So you can use this to test something, test before you push your site live, to try and catch things before they go live, which is let's catch things before they break, because after they break, sometimes it's hard to get them fixed. And we just, if you have a staging environment, we don't necessarily need access as long as you have access. We have a Chrome plugin. So if you access from Chrome, our Chrome plugin will fetch the staging version, send it out to our servers, who will then compare it to the live system.
Sweet.
An interesting use case, I'm using this to help one of our customers who we did not have history on, but they had done a migration about 2 months ago and did a lot of things wrong. They went to Ajax and did a lot of things wrong, and took a big traffic hit. So what I had them do is I had them bring up the old site on a test environment, and then I ran like kind of a reverse diff comparing the what normally would be a staging environment to the live environment. So now I have a record for them of all the changes that they made 2 months ago, even though they didn't have SEO Radar at that time.
I see. Okay. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. All right, well, we got to move on, guys. Let's move on to the lightning round and to answering people's questions. If you have any questions, please put them up on there in the chat, and our panel of SEO experts will give you their SEO knowledge as much as we possibly can for the next 5-10 minutes. So going right to that, I see Brady asks, what is the minimum spend for SEO for one site per month for an SEO expert? For example, all costs. What's the TCO for 1 month?
$1.
$1. American
golden stapler.
The golden. Brady, that really depends. It depends completely on your market. It depends completely on your niche. It depends on
whether you want links in Mandarin.
Yeah. Do you want links from China, or do you want links from sites that are related to your industry? And do you want experts working on your site who work for peanuts, or do you want experts working on your site who know what they're doing so they can command a larger salary? So it's really hard to say, but I know what you're looking for. I'd say probably in the industry, I just told somebody this, at the very, very base level, if you're hiring people who really have no idea what they're doing, or it's really risky, you could spend a couple $100 usually. Or $500 is like if they're over in the Philippines or India. Nothing against people from the Philippines or India, but they have countries that are not always very stable, and so they disappear sometimes. Again, nothing against people from the Philippines or India. I love all you guys.
I correlate this to if somebody were to come up to you and say, hey, I want to build your house, and they say, I'll do it for $10 an hour. You got to wonder what their credibility on house building is. And I look at a lot of the SEO plans as similar to building a nice foundation. And if you want to bring in other people to do the other work that's more specific along the way, I think that's great. But to get the basic foundation, I think you should hire somebody who knows what they're talking about. And usually those people will give you a roadmap, well, that's what I do, and show you, hey, look, this is what needs to be handled. If you want to get somebody to do this for you, go ahead. But I think that, overall, you should make sure that you're doing these certain things.
Right. I agree with that, but I think it's also important to point out, like, be wary of a really good pitch. So if you hear a pitch where someone's going to say 6 to 8 months, they say all the right terms. I mean, anyone could come together and put together a really great script, say all the right things, even based on that video that Google put out saying how to hire an SEO.
Yes.
I think it really comes down to who has done work with this person before. What are their reviews? Basic homework, whether you're hiring someone to build a house, plumber, write copy for you, I think really looking up their, like, if the SEO you're talking to doesn't really have any of a digital presence, like, this is an SEO you're talking about, someone whose job it is to put things out on the internet, and they don't have an internet presence.
Right.
Well, and I think it comes down to people too, because there's a lot of SEOs that are so busy that they don't have time to build their presence. Like, for instance, this guy named Alan Blywace, he's freaking insane at SEO, and he charges $3,000 to $4,000 per audit. He does audits on places like Petco and Target, and he kills it. But he doesn't have time because he's doing all this stuff for other people. So I don't think it's like necessarily this or that. I think what it is figuring out people and what they're saying makes sense or not. I think a lot of the time people get taken advantage of this industry because they have no idea what people are talking about. Some of my clients don't even know how to open email. So you have to be, it might even be worth it just to hire another SEO to find an SEO for you.
Who doesn't know how to open email? Where are you finding these clients? What's going on?
You also want an SEO with experience specific to the type of market that you're in. So if you have an e-commerce site, you want someone who's done e-commerce. That's going to have usually difficult technical issues that need to be followed up on. If it's a WordPress site, that's kind of more of a brochure site, marketing site, then you want someone who's really done a lot of content optimization. And if it's local, if you're going after local, you want someone with local experience. So definitely look at their specific experience as well.
Right, definitely.
Always be careful with link building.
And they'll charge $10,000 a month. That's the base price, $10,000 a month. Moving on. Somebody asks, what is the best way to structure locations in a state? What is best to use in categories, no plugins, cities, or services? So they're asking in local SEO, what is the best way to try and rank for state, city?
Subfolders.
Chase, you say subfolders? Mark, what do you say?
I say you just want to make sure the pages are good, are well optimized.
There you go.
and you definitely have a link path that passes authority to those pages, and make sure make sure you pass authority to them. And
but in terms of architecture, like
you mean
some people are like, oh well, we should do subdomains, or oh we should do different websites.
You mean was that what the question meant? Subdomains versus?
I have no idea what the question. You can answer the question any way you like. As long as you're vaguely on topic, I don't really care.
Yes, I would go with folders versus subdomains if that's what you meant. I would definitely keep it in the same.
When would be a case that you would actually go with subdomains at this point?
Tyler?
I mean, subfolder, like Chase said, I think that's the best way. A lot of people like using, I've seen a lot of people use zip codes. Zip codes also work. Maybe, if you buy a tool, get your business listed in the local business listings. SEMRush will have a tool like that available soon. There's other companies that do a fantastic job of that as well.
Yeah, this person, Enterprenate Consulting, I think that's how you pronounce it. They said that they're talking about categories. I'm not really sure what you mean. Let me tell you what my opinion of this is. So I think it's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, Google calls this doorway pages, and they don't want you to make these thin kind of pages just trying to rank for Colorado, Denver, Colorado, this town, Colorado, that town. But at the same time, it still works, right? At the same time, you still want, he says he's talking about cities or services and other categories. Yeah, so if you're trying to rank local for a service in a particular city, at the same, the pages you want to make have to be relevant to those areas. And it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario, because again, Google specifically says not to do this, but more often than not, we see it working. And so they want some kind of quality on those pages, some kind of non-duplication, some kind of authentic information on those pages, if at all possible. And your site better be quality otherwise. Otherwise, you're going to run into trouble. It's already one strike against you in the kind of Panda filter. But I don't think you can get away from doing it. There are ways you can do it. I've done service pages with like a named anchor at the top with all of the cities, listing all the cities that you service. You can do it that way as well, and RankBrain can perfectly pick that up as well.
Hey, Josh, I actually did a case study, and I ranked site. It's still ranking. It's #1 for a 2,000 monthly search rate keyword with 0 backlinks, and the keyword is Maryland search engine optimization. I'm not even close to there. And what I made sure to do is I found hyper-specific data for the two things I was going for. So one was SEO, and the other one was Maryland. So I make sure to include pictures of Maryland. I make sure to talk about SEO, and then I also make sure to talk about things about Maryland that I literally just pretty much pulled from Wikipedia. I didn't copy and paste it, but by adding hyper-specific data and hopefully LSI variations, you're going to make your search a lot more relevant for that query. Now, that's not to say that you're just going to rank anything, but you can be a lot more likely to rank those things if you do subfolders and then subpages of your locations. And I actually tried to do this with a worldwide computer repair site, and I wound up getting all these rankings for computer repair as well in these different areas. But of course, you have to figure out if you're going to be doing that, you basically have to create architecture within your site so that you can silo in between these different pages where they're local, and you're listing services for these different pages, because one page generally, when you're targeting something that people are using their entire websites for, is usually not going to be enough, and you're going to have to create an architecture that's within an architecture to rank this stuff.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So you can't just have a page that says we have the best carpet cleaning in somewhere, and then that's the only thing that's different is the keyword in the H1 and in the paragraph, the H1 and the page, and the rest of the page is exactly the same for 10 cities. You have to say, somewhere, Maryland has a population of this. Here's some pictures from there, and the next one, whatever place has this population, has this pictures, and we service these areas. And that's going to change page per page. So there's specific information. At the very, very least, that's what you need to do to try and even hope to avoid any kind of quality issues. And
pro tip, you can use local schema too for those different areas.
Yes, and you definitely should be using local schema. There's a couple more questions, guys. I'm going to try to get to these. Having an hreflang issue in Search Console, what's the best resource to figure out what's wrong? I would go to the Webmaster Forums, Central Forums, Google Webmaster Central Forums, and post your question there. That's what they're there to do, is answer that question. Or I would go on a John Mueller Hangout. find a John Mueller hangout and ask John Mueller directly, and he might be able to help you out.
SEMrush as a site audit can tell you where the hreflang issue is happening if you have a subscription and you want to utilize the site audit tool. So site audit, you put in your website, will tell you exactly where the hreflang issue is happening.
Ooh, yes. You can also use tools like SEMrush, and I'm sure SEO Radar also probably had that too. The ability to detect with hreflang is where it's broken on what page. Or you can use your eyeballs, like me. I just use my eyeballs. Somebody asks, thoughts on sites like Target getting ranked for actual internal search results pages. I have no thoughts about that. That's a philosophical search question. We'll leave that for another day. And then I don't see any other questions directed to us. So there. So that's the show, guys. Thanks very much for watching. I'd like to thank. Sorry, go ahead.
We have a call to action.
Yes, the call to action is call out to Jesus and say that Josh Bachynski is wonderful. No, that's not the call to action. Or Buddha, or pick your prophet or God. I don't care. Be the great spaghetti monster, whoever it may be.
The flying spaghetti monster.
Yes, the flying spaghetti monster. The call to action is, if you wouldn't mind to be, you ask the Canadian to do it. I have to do it in the polite way. If you wouldn't, sorry, but if you wouldn't mind to be so kind as to maybe perhaps, if you enjoyed the video, that you would be so kind as to like the video. See what happens when you make a Canadian do something. Follow us on follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. Email Tyler Wilson if you want SEMrush. Email Mark Monroe. Mark, do you want to give us an email for SEO Radar or something?
Sure, you can email me directly, mark@seoradar.com. We'll also give a discount for anyone who wants. You can get a 20% discount. I have to set it up, but we'll call it, what is it? Hat Radar will be the discount code, 20%. And we also, for consultants and SMBs, we have special pricing. So just put that in the email that you'd like to get the SMB pricing. Mark@seoradar.com.
Fantastic. Thanks, Mark. Sorry, I'm just amusing myself now, reading all the comments now. This guy's literally screaming, what should I make my categories? Location, services. Wow. Star. I'm sorry, Entreprenate Consulting, if the question was unsatisfactory for you.
Tried.
Oh, here he goes even further. All the shit you kept saying was common sense. Why wouldn't you answer location or service or category star? Probably because we have no idea what the hell you're talking about. That's why we didn't answer. If you need help, by all means, email me. If anybody needs SEO help, please email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com, or you can contact Chase or Tyler or anybody, or I don't know, again, scream to Buddha and maybe someone will help you.
Yeah, Tyler.Wilson.
Sorry, Tyler, go ahead.
Tyler.Wilson@SEMrush.com.
Fantastic. I don't know. After seeing some of the comments, you might not want to give your email address. You're going to get emails with all caps and stars in it. Why is SEMrush so expensive?
Entrepreneur wants to know your home address, Tyler.
Yeah, 123 Fake Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I don't know.
Yeah, 123 Fake Street. And he keeps going. Anyone who's on the show, you're getting a beautiful show of the care and consideration of most internet users right now. It's fantastic. Anyway, so that's the show. Thank you very much. Chase, play us a song out.
Well, I don't know what to play.